All right, what's up everybody? It's Ethan here, and I'm coming to you from the scenic trailhead, also known as the Sierra Blanca trailhead, here in the Lincoln National Forest, right next to the Ski Apache ski resort. And today I'm going to be hiking the two tallest peaks in this mountain range. The first one is up behind there somewhere, and the second one is not in view from here, but it's going to be Lookout Mountain, which is about 11,580 feet, and then Sierra Blanca, which is about 11,980 feet, so just short of 12,000. These are, like I said, the two tallest peaks in this range. This range is it's the White Mountains and the Sacramento Mountains. And you can see that I'll be heading into the White Mountain Wilderness. Of course, Sierra Blanca is Spanish for White Mountain. And so this hike does start out in kind of a burn area, as you can see. A lot of burned out trees, but it's also very green up here right now, because this area, well, a lot of areas out west have just been getting insane amounts of rain, and this area is no exception. It's been, I mean, you could set your watch to the heavy afternoon storms that roll through here literally every single day without exception. So I'm starting at 6 a.m. with the hopes that I will be close to finished or completely finished by noon. This hike is about 10 miles round trip and has about 3,200 feet of total elevation gain. So definitely a good little hike. And there's tons of elk up here. My God, I've seen so many elk already. I saw like 6 on the drive up here last night, and I walked over to Ski Apache to see if they had a bathroom I could use, and there's a bunch of them up on the ski slopes up there. So really cool. But anyway, I'm gonna keep hiking in and get back to you guys in a bit. All right, well, I have made it to the first of a couple of trail junctions. Looking at a beautiful view. So we are going to take a left here, get on the Crest Trail / Lookout Trail. So we're gonna stay on Trail 78. That's the trail we want to get on and stay on, and that's gonna take us up to the Lookout Mountain summit, which is, I believe, it's gonna be like somewhere up there. I don't think that, I'm pretty sure that's Sierra Blanca. It's hard to tell from this vantage point, but I'm almost positive. Matter of fact, I'm 100% positive that that up there is Sierra Blanca, and Lookout Mountain is kind of out of view at the moment. But anyway, you can see all the ski slopes for Ski Apache over here. And yeah, really beautiful morning. Over there, that is another peak. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it's Buck Mountain, that's what it is. And it's like 10,700 something feet. Much easier hike than doing Lookout Mountain or Sierra Blanca. So if you're looking for a hike that, you know, up here that will give you some amazing views, but you don't want to do something too crazy, that would definitely be a great option. So as you can see, this trail is a little overgrown, and it makes sense with all the rain that's been happening up here. I'm surprised you can still see the trail at all. And of course, everything's wet right now, so all this overgrown brush is brushing against the bottom of my pant legs, and they are covered in water. But that's okay. It's actually not too cold right now. It's like 48 degrees. It's supposed to go up to like the low 60s up on the summit today. And for, you know, being up at this high of an altitude, that ain't too bad. All right, well, I just lost a lot of that elevation I gained in the first part of the hike. So I came down from up there. There's a ridge up there. Came down into this little valley here, and the trail kind of just disappears. You can't really see anything. This is the trail right here. There have been some rock cairns to kind of show the way, but I'm definitely being really careful here to make sure that I stay on trail. So far it hasn't been too bad, but down there it was kind of confusing for a second because the trail just like abruptly ended, and I had to look at my map to make sure that I was still going the right way. But looks like I'm going to be starting to go back up again, and yeah, this trail is pretty decently overgrown from all these rains. All right, well, the sun is up and it is looking absolutely incredible up here. See, getting some great views through the trees. This trail is really overgrown and hard to see in some places, but it's still, you know, easy enough to follow. I would definitely recommend downloading you know, the All Trails map or something like that. But yeah, it's easy enough to follow that, you know. I'm just kind of sporadically checking the map to make sure I'm still on the trail. But you can tell that this trail definitely needs a little bit of restoration work, but also it's just, you know, really overgrown from all of these rains. So I'm sure a lot of trails in this area look like this right now. There is a nice little herd of elk up on that slope over there. There's a ton of them around this. This area is just like so many elk. They're up there too. Sorry, my phone isn't the best camera when it's zoomed in like this, but that is super cool. I mean, there's over a dozen of them right there, just in that one spot. It is incredible out here. Like, wow. Wildflowers growing everywhere. I'll tell you, like, I can't remember the last time, like, you know, this mountain range has so many elk. I can't remember the last time I've seen this many elk with such regularity, you know? Like, Colorado has a ton of elk, but, you know, sometimes you see them and sometimes you don't. Every time I come up to this mountain range, whether I'm near Cloudcroft or Ruidoso or up here at Ski Apache, every time driving through, hiking, whatever, I always see at least a few elk, which is super cool. I mean, there's just so many of them, and I believe that's the trail right there. So I'm going to be hiking right through an area with a large herd of elk. Wish me luck. pretty freaking crazy. I'm really enjoying this hike so far. That was really crazy hearing that elk bugling like that. And he was calling all the females, all the cows that were over on that slope. They all started walking over towards him, and so also towards me. But wow, that was really cool. So here's another trail junction. It's not really well marked, but the trail goes this way, and that's 78. And then the trail 25 goes this way. Man, it is a beautiful morning. So I just got through a big patch of forest, and I'm about to enter into another one. Lookout Mountain is pretty much right at the tree line, being that it's about 11.5 or closer to 11.6. But Sierra Blanca is pretty well above the tree line. But anyway, looks like I'm coming up here to another little trail sign. So let's see where this wants me to go. I mean, I know which direction I need to go. Yeah, you can see the Lookout Mountain and the Crest Trail go that way, but the Lookout Mountain Trail also goes this way, and that's the way that I need to go. Don't get confused by that sign. When you get to this area, you want to go to the left. But man, it is just so beautiful seeing all the elk, hearing the elks calling to each other and the male bugling. It's just an incredible experience. And also, I like to point out that I've had the whole trail to myself thus far. There's freaking nobody out here. I mean, I'm sure I'll see somebody, but you know, at this point, you know, it's a Sunday and I haven't seen a single other person. And from the way that trail looks, it honestly doesn't look like it gets that much usage. So, all right, well, I'm at the top of the Ski Apache Resort, and you can see down below there, that is the Tularosa Basin of the Chihuahuan Desert. And you are looking at a desert that is 7,000 feet below where I'm currently standing. That's how significant the elevation difference is. And if you look over there, that's White Sands. Incredible. Incredible views. I have a video from White Sands, by the way, if you want to see it. And it looks like someone stole an alien statue from Roswell and dropped it off up here. But anyway, you can see the little gondola thing that comes up here. And I'm going to keep hiking on to Lookout Mountain. So, I actually just talked to a guy that was running the gondola, and he told me that they run it even in the summertime, Thursday through Sunday. So, I'm sure that once they open up that gondola, there'll be a lot more people up here. But for now, I'm definitely enjoying the solitude. And I'm very close to Lookout Mountain. It's pretty much right up there. Well, this is quite the summit up here. It's, yeah, there's like a whole thing they got built up here. And of course, the views are just insane. It shows you the site of the first atomic bomb explosion. You can actually see it out there, the lava fields that are all where it's like a darker color than the rest of the land around it. Like out there, for example. So that is where they That is where they detonated the first atomic bomb, evidently. That's pretty crazy. Everybody knows about that, though, the White Sands Missile Range. And speaking of White Sands, there it is out there in all of its splendor. It's crazy when you're up this high, it doesn't look that big, but when you're in that dune field, believe me, it looks like it's just a never-ending sea of like pure white sand. It's amazing. That is definitely a place I would highly recommend hiking if you're in the area, or not even hiking, just, you know, hike, sandboard, whatever. It's just an awesome place to go. Wow, the views up here are just insane. So I am at the top of Lookout Mountain, which is at the top of the Ski Apache resort, and the elevation here is 11,581 feet. So this is the high point of Lincoln County, and that is the high point of Otero County, and it is the second tallest peak behind, of course, that Sierra Blanca in this mountain range, as well as in all of southern New Mexico. Pretty awesome place. I mean, it's just crazy to me how you can see from, you know, like up here in the you're in the alpine tundra, and you get a perfect view down to the desert, you know, where it's just you know, total desert, and, you know, a big, you know, the white sands, the big dune field out there. I mean, this is just wild. These views are absolutely incredible. So it's about 8 a.m. right now. I think it's a little after 8 a.m. So it took me a little longer to get up here than expected. Supposedly it was only supposed to be 3 miles up to the summit, but it was actually like a little over 4. So from here, I can pretty much see that it's about 1.5 miles to get to the summit of Sierra Blanca. And you can see it's pretty much a straight shot, but it ain't going to be easy. I mean, from what I heard, there's like faint little social trails going up there, but there's no like official trail. So it's kind of just blazing your own path and no switchbacks, just hiking straight up that ridge line. So you can see that last section of the ridge up there. It's pretty steep, so it should get interesting. But I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. The weather still looks perfect right now, and like I said, it's only 8 a.m. so I still got some time. But I'm gonna hike back down from here down to the saddle, and that's about 400 feet below where I'm standing now. And then you have to hike about like 800 feet up to the summit of Sierra Blanca. It's like 900 feet. It's like 850, I think, is the elevation gain from the saddle to the summit of Sierra Blanca. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I already took a little short break, so I'm gonna go ahead and start hiking up there. Okay, well, I'm at the bottom of the saddle between Sierra Blanca and Lookout Mountain. There's the summit of Sierra Blanca up there. It is gonna be quite the hike from here. It's only about 1 mile, but it's gonna be like straight up most of the time. I swear, like, the closer you get to the ridge, the steeper it gets. But anyway, it's still beautiful up here. I'm in this like field of these purple wildflowers here on the saddle, and this is also I just officially entered the Mescalero Apache Reservation. And so it's always good to, you know, be respectful in areas like this, because technically, you know, it's not like national. I mean, I think it is. I don't know if it is. I think it's not national forest, actually, because national forest is owned by the government and tribal lands are not owned by the government. So it's not national forest land. This is just tribal lands. So, you know, don't do anything crazy to attract too much attention to yourself, I guess. But, I mean, I don't really know how I would attract attention to myself, because there's fucking nobody around here. But you know what I mean. Okay, well, I made it up this first part of the ridge, and my God, that was really steep. I mean, there's no trail, and I was trying to make my own little switchbacks, but wow, that was really steep. The views, of course, are amazing, as they've been on pretty much the entire hike. And there's the summit up there. It looks like I probably have about another 400, 450, something like that, feet of elevation gain to go. And of course, this last section is equally as steep as that first section was. And it gets very rocky up there. So, you know, this last portion of the hike between Lookout Mountain, or between the saddle and the summit of Sierra Blanca, definitely goes up to class 2. But that's kind of I believe that's the worst it gets. Doesn't get anywhere close to like class 3. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going and hopefully get up to this summit pretty soon here. There are a couple of clouds starting to build up overhead. For now, it still looks okay, but I'm probably not gonna be on the summit for very long. I would have started earlier had I known how much longer this was actually going to take, but like I said, the mileage was definitely inaccurate. Okay, so I picked up a little social trail right here just below the ridge crest. Ridge crest is right up there. And honestly, it's easy to miss. So make sure that you dip down below the ridge crest to stay on the trail, because if you don't, it does go up to class 3. So, I mean, if you want to do some class 3, then sure, stay on the ridge crest. But if not, then find this little trail here. I am about 350 feet below the summit right now. And man, I am excited to get up there. All right, I made it up to the summit of Sierra Blanca. 11,980 feet, the tallest mountain in the Sacramento Mountains / White Mountains, the tallest mountain in all of southern New Mexico, and the most prominent mountain in the state of New Mexico. It is truly incredible up here. The views are insane. I mean, you can see all the way out to the other side of the range where like Roswell and Artesia and Carlsbad is. You can see the town of Ruidoso down there, which is really cool. And that's looking back to where I came from, Lookout Mountain. And then of course the desert down below this mountain range. White sands off in the distance over there. Wow, this is just incredible. I mean, it's quite an experience to be standing on a peak that is like significantly higher than everything around it. I mean, I know there's a couple other peaks, you know, on this ridge that are, you know, that are kind of close in elevation. The next closest one was Lookout Mountain, obviously. But I mean, this is just like, it's crazy that I'm looking at something that's so far out in the distance and so much lower in elevation. I mean, literally, like down there, it's like 4,000 feet and I'm standing at nearly 12,000 feet. Crazy. This was an insane hike, I gotta tell you. So it was much tougher than what I was expecting. The elevation gain was on point, but the mileage and the difficulty of the terrain was more than what I expected. The way it was described on a couple of websites that I looked at was that it was just, you know, class 1, and then the final ridge was like a little bit of class 2, and like that was it, right? You know, not too big of a deal. But yeah, that is not the case. First of all, the mileage, it says that it's like 4.5 miles to the summit from that trailhead. It was like 6.5 miles. So this is going to be like a 13-mile round trip hike, much longer than what I was expecting. And also, it is, you know, I mean, the terrain is difficult. You can see this ridge here. I mean, that is not an easy ridge to climb up. It is extraordinarily steep and rocky, and it doesn't quite get to the level of class 3, but it is very difficult class 2. I mean, you're basically just climbing up a very steep boulder field for like the last, you know, 400 feet up to the summit. And then even below that part, that first part of the ridge, it's not like super rocky, but there's no trail and it's very steep. So you're kind of just going straight up. So I mean, this is not, you know, definitely not an easy peak to bag. You know, if you're someone from like Colorado who hikes a fair amount of like 14ers and 13ers and stuff, you'll probably won't have much of a problem with it. But definitely someone who is not used to hiking, doing hikes like this, definitely watch out, because this hike is no joke. It's a serious hike, not to be taken lightly. But if you make it up here, you are rewarded with some spectacular views. The most spectacular views you're going to get anywhere in southern New Mexico, that's for sure. Anyway, so I'm going to take like a quick break, and then I'm getting the hell out of here, because these clouds are building very quickly over me, and I can tell that there are some thunderstorms up on the way for sure. I mean, I would not be surprised if I start, you know, seeing storms within an hour, and there ain't no way I'm going to be back down to the trailhead in an hour. But hopefully I can at least be in a safer area, like back over by, you know, Ski Apache. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick break because I really need it. And then I'm going to get the hell out of here. All right, well, I'm down off of the summit of Sierra Blanca, and there's definitely some clouds rolling around, swirling around up on the summit there that look like they could turn on me. But for the most part, it still looks pretty good. I just checked the weather forecast, and they're calling for a 20% chance of thunderstorms like all day. Like right now, there's a 20% chance, and it's staying at 20% chance the whole day. Which means that, you know, if I know anything about the mountains, at some point today, it is going to rain. And there is going to be thunder and lightning and all that. But for now, it still seems okay. So I'm not really stressing out about it. Look at the view down to that canyon down there. That is just incredible. Yeah, there's this very faint trail here off to the side of the ridge crest that you can follow. But I did find the trail, actually, the very faint trail that goes up to the summit of Sierra Blanca. Couldn't find it on the way up, but I found it on the way down. And that did make it a bit easier. It wasn't like a straight up boulder field the whole time. But it is hard to stick to the trail. You got to really pay attention to where you're going. All right, well, I'm back down at the saddle, and if ever there's a good reminder to start heading down when you see clouds building up, I mean, it's getting worse every freaking minute that I hike down. So you can see I got down that ridge from Sierra Blanca, thank God. It's very steep, but now, unfortunately, I do have to go back up about 400 feet of elevation up to just below the summit of Lookout Mountain. You don't have to go all the way back to the summit of Lookout Mountain if you don't want to. You can kind of bypass it a little bit, but yeah. It's really crazy that I still just I haven't seen a single other person today. Now I know I'm going to see some people when I get back to Ski Apache, because I talked to the gentleman, I guess he counts as a person that I've seen today. But I talked to the gentleman that was up at the top of the gondola over there, and he said that they do open that at like 9 a.m. and run it until like 4 or 5 or something like that. So there most certainly will be people up there that are, you know, that ride the gondola up here. And maybe I'll see a few hikers as well. But either way, the solitude that I've gotten on this hike, I mean, for what it is, for how like amazing and beautiful of a hike this is, it is pretty astounding that I haven't seen a single other person. I would think that a lot of people would be out to bag the tallest peak in southern New Mexico. Take one last look, boys. What an incredible mountain. I assure you I will be climbing that mountain again. There is no doubt in my mind that that is not the last time I will be on top of Sierra Blanca. That is a really incredible peak. So the gondola is running and it's free, and oh my god, I am so freaking tempted to take that back down. So tempted. Oh my god, you have no idea. I really, like, I've already hiked like almost 9 miles. I've hiked like 8.5 miles, which is half a mile short of what they said the round trip distance is, but yeah. Like I said, I really want to do that, but I don't want there to be an asterisk next to my name on people who climb this mountain, so I'm gonna hike all the way back down. Okay, well, I am not taking the gondola back down, but I am taking an alternate route. I'm gonna be hiking down this little dirt road that I guess is also a ski run at certain points. But I tell you, I really wanted to get on that fucking gondola. You have no idea. I really almost did. And I will say, like, in future climbs of Sierra Blanca, I will almost certainly use the gondola on the way back down. But considering this is the first time, you know, like I said, I want to be a completionist. I don't want there to be no little asterisk next to my name. You know, I want everybody to know that I started from the bottom all the way down there at the road, hiked all the way up to Lookout Mountain, and then all the way up to Sierra Blanca, and then all the way back. But, you know, I'm making a little loop out of it, I guess you could say. I really don't know if this is actually going to cut off any time or distance. It's about 3 miles to get. I think to get there, it should cut off a little bit of distance, because it was about 4 miles to get to Lookout Mountain from there, from you know, the trailhead I started at, and it should be about 3 miles this way. So yeah. Hopefully it'll just be an easy going hike back down most of the way. All right, well, I am hiking away from the gondola now, which I did not take. Here's video proof. I'm not riding the gondola, even though I wanted to really badly. But yeah, so this way, this is the way that All Trails recommends to get up to Sierra Blanca, get up and down, or at least to get up to Lookout Mountain. So All Trails doesn't have a page specifically for Sierra Blanca. But anyway, so this is the way that it recommended, and I didn't take this way. I used the Summit Post you know, trail guide instead, because it just seemed to be more fun. You know, it was on trails rather than, you know, just hiking. The first half of your hike is just hiking through you know, a ski resort. But going down, you know, I don't mind going this way instead, especially since it's supposedly going to cut off a good amount of distance. I will say though that if you are looking for like the most scenic route up the mountain, I would definitely recommend taking the trail and using the Summit Post guide rather than what All Trails says, because like this is cool and you get really good views and everything, but it's just not the same as being on the trail, you know. So, but for hiking down, this is perfect. But anyway, I will check in with you guys in a little bit, hopefully when I'm back down at the base of the ski resort. All right, well, I'm back down at the Ski Apache base. So, from here, I do have a bit to actually get back to the car. Right now I'm at 11.5 miles, and it's like another quarter of a mile to get back to the car. So the way that I took ended up being right about 11.75 miles, just shy of 12 miles for the round trip distance on this hike. Once again, much longer than the 9 miles that I was promised, but that's okay. I still had a really good time, and it was definitely that was like incredible going up to that mountain. And you can see there's lots of dark clouds in the sky right now, but it has not rained on me yet. So I actually made it through the hike without getting rained on, which is pretty awesome. So like I said, total round trip distance was 11.75 miles. If you take the trail back like the same way, just do like a regular out and back, you'd probably be looking at more like 12.5 miles, or probably actually more than that. You'd probably be looking at like 13 miles. But either way, really beautiful hike, really awesome. Just be prepared for longer than what Summit Post or All Trails tells you. And yeah, it's really great. Ended up being, the elevation gain was pretty close to on point. It said 3,200 feet was the total. I ended up clocking in 3,400 feet of total elevation gain. There definitely is some elevation gain on the return trip as well, going back up to Lookout Mountain. And it took me about 6.5 hours round trip, so not bad at all. And one thing I have to say about this hike, other than that spot where, you know, the gondola was, where I saw like a couple of people getting off the gondola, nobody the whole day. I mean, from start to finish, you know, nobody on this hike. Like, there was not one other person hiking up to Sierra Blanca today, which is insane to me that on a Sunday I could have a mountain like that to myself. That is really, really cool. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna go ahead and end this for now, and I'll see you guys soon for another awesome hiking adventure.